Now Benedict is totally smitten with me. Ah, it's a crime to be this beautiful. You're kidding, right? Didn't you notice? He's mine now. If Benedict falls for this woman, everything I've built up will be for nothing. Does Benedict really know what he's doing? Or even understand what's happening? My world goes dark. My name is Elise. I'm a 45-year-old woman teaching yoga in the suburbs of Boston. When people hear yoga instructor, they might picture someone refined, but that's usually the younger female instructors. To be honest, nearing 50, I'm not exactly a hot commodity, so my life depends on Benedict's income. My husband Benedict is older than me, 48 years old. At 48, most people worry about health checkups, especially metabolic syndrome. But not Benedict. He's fit and youthful, something I'm proud of. When I show his pictures to my yoga students, they're amazed and start comparing him to their own husbands. So I often tell new students, bring your husband to my yoga class, and he could look like this. Benedict and I met because I was his yoga instructor, so it's not entirely untrue. I teach yoga a few days a week and spend the rest of the time as a housewife. I thought this would be my life forever. That was until she showed up. She changed everything between Benedict and me. It started during a trial yoga class. One day, a familiar woman joined the class. I struggled to remember where I'd seen her before. I felt bad for not remembering her face, but maybe deep down, I didn't want to remember her because she was such an unpleasant woman. The answer came from her. During the break, she approached me. It's been a while. Remember me? Seeing her malicious smile, I remembered. This woman was Lori, a childhood friend. Lori and I live close to each other and have gotten along well since we were little, playing together. Lori was cute and popular, even rumored to become an idol someday. But she had another reputation, and Lori's reputation stood out in other ways too. She took things that didn't belong to her, from erasers and umbrellas to dolls, and as we grew older, even someone's boyfriend. Men adored her, but women couldn't stand her. And let's be honest, I was one of those women. We've known each other's families since we were kids, and I was often the victim of her thievery. And now, she's right in front of me. We lost touch after her family moved away during elementary school. How did she even find me? Keeping my professional smile, I responded, Lori, it's been ages. Of course I remember you. I moved back to town, saw your face on a yoga poster, and thought it looked familiar. But it seems anyone can be a yoga instructor, even you, so I could probably do it too. She hasn't changed a bit. Hearing her words, I knew immediately, and decided not to mention Benedict in my usual class introduction today. Having my life partner stolen at this age is no joke, and if anyone could do it, it's Lori. After the trial class, I got up and ended up having a late lunch with her. As soon as we sat down, she started bragging about how many men were after her, how she got scouted by a famous talent agency. I couldn't tell if she was lying or not, but she kept talking. She seemed to want to show off her current life. Living on the top floor of a high-rise isn't that great. The elevator ride is long, and the people on the lower floors are snarky. But the worst part is my husband, Joshua. He's an attorney, so the money's good, but he's fat. Thanks to him, I can be a housewife, but it's hard. You couldn't handle it, still teaching yoga at your age? Her face was soaked in smugness. I bet she stole Joshua from someone else, too. I just listened, hoping she'd get bored if I didn't react. I thought that Lori would get bored if she knew I wasn't particularly responsive. Did you get married? Really? What's your husband like? As plain and unimpressive as you?" Her words made my blood boil. I felt like she was negating my happy, precious life. And I wanted to see her reaction when she saw Benedict. My husband is 48, but doesn't look it. My students often ask if he's in his 20s. He works for a foreign financial institution, so he makes a decent income. I showed her a picture of Benedict. For a moment, I felt a small victory over Lori, but it was short-lived. "Wow, I think I like him." I messed up. That was her signal that she'd found her next target. My momentary feeling of superiority vanished, leaving only regret. But it's okay. She doesn't know where I live or how to contact me. If I keep quiet, everything will be fine. Holding back my rising anxiety, I continued to make small talk with Lori. But behind the casual chatter, there was an unspoken battle. Lori was trying to dig up more about Benedict, and I was dodging her questions. I managed to end the conversation without giving anything away. I felt relieved and went home, but Lori started showing up at my yoga classes more frequently, probing for information. I dodged her questions and eventually started avoiding conversations with her altogether. Maybe she sensed my attitude because one day she suddenly stopped coming to yoga class. Yes, she's finally given up. We might have been young once, but now we're both in our 40s. Things can't always go your way at this age. Serves you right. I felt like I had finally won and did a little fist pump. But the real winner was Lori, because she had already gotten close to Benedict. For a while, life returned to normal. I taught yoga and supported Benedict by taking care of the house. It was so peaceful that I completely forgot about Lori. In hindsight, it was the calm before the storm. While I was enjoying my peaceful days, I noticed that Benedict's behavior had started to change. "Sorry, I won't need lunch for a while. I have plans with a client." Or, "I'll be late from work, so go ahead and eat dinner without me. Actually, don't make dinner for me. I'll eat out." He used to prioritize home over work. But if it's for work, I can't complain. If Benedict works hard, it might lead to better opportunities for him. So I had no choice but to support him. Around the same time, I started teaching a new evening yoga class, so I didn't have time to think too much about it. So I took Benedict at his word. I was naive to think that both of us getting busier was a good thing. Now that I think about it, I was really stupid. Then one day, Lori showed up in my yoga class again. During the class, she kept giving me the smug look. It's the face I hate the most. After the class, while I was cleaning up, Lori approached me. She said to me with a relaxed smile and a mocking smile, with a mocking tone and a confident smile, she said, "Your husband is really something. He has such elegant table manners, and his dimples when he smiles are so cute. Oh, did you know? He has an interesting beauty mark on his back." That's when it hit me. She hadn't given up on Benedict. She had already gotten close to him. The elegant table manners and the dimples when he smiles meant they had shared meals. Could it be why Benedict stopped taking lunch from me? But more importantly, the interesting beauty mark on his back? If I connect that with Benedict coming home late and smelling like a different soap, the answer is clear. She's already slept with him multiple times. I was horrified. "What are you even talking about? I never introduced you to Benedict. How did you even meet him?" "Are you dumb? Even if you don't tell me, I can easily find out from other students in the class. You're so naive. I just had to stake out your house for a few days after asking around. And I found out all about your husband, especially since you've been showing off pictures of Benedict. Now he's smitten with me. Ah, it's a curse to be this beautiful. You're lying. Didn't you notice? Benedict is mine now. If Lori takes Benedict from me, everything we've built together will be for nothing. Does Benedict even know what's happening? Is he okay with this? My world went dark. Thinking about the days that might be lost and about Benedict. Lori left, laughing so hard she was practically holding her stomach. I was left alone in the class. Calm down. First, I need to talk to Benedict. Maybe it's just Lori's delusion. Above all, I wanted to confirm how Benedict really felt. What will happen to what we've built together? And what do you think of me now? When I confronted Benedict after he came home, he bluntly said, "Sorry, everything Lori said is true. I might have done you wrong, but you're not innocent either. Your cooking is bland, and you never compliment me when I come home from work. You're always ordering me around, telling me to exercise and use this lotion. Lori, on the other hand, is kind. She always says I'm wonderful, and her cooking is delicious." Wait, the seasoning and the exercise? It's all for you? And what about our promises? You said back then. Benedict cut me off and yelled, "Shut up. It's all your fault. You're always bossing me around. I don't need a woman like you anymore." We're married. Can't we talk this out? I have reasons for asking you to. Enough. I'm going to Lori's house tonight. She's kind and doesn't boss me around like you do. With that, Benedict left the house. I was left alone, sighing. I never thought Benedict would feel that way. Sure, I've asked him to do various things. But did he see those as orders? Even though it was all for his sake? Everything I've done for Benedict was just negated by the man himself. But his way of putting it was unfair, blaming everything on me and insisting he's not at fault. And then saying he's going to Lori because she's kind. What is he, a grade schooler? He's almost 50 for crying out loud. Is this who Benedict really is? I admit I might have been wrong in how I acted, but reflecting on what Benedict just said, my love for him suddenly cooled. Besides, he's infatuated with Lori and doesn't seem to care about me. That's when it hit me. If that's the case, I might as well hand Benedict over to Lori, clean and clear. If I do that, I might be able to get back at Lori twice as hard. Thinking about the way she laughed at me, I made up my mind. Next time, it's my turn to laugh. I'll get back at her. Lori showed up at the yoga class the next day. Just like yesterday, she looked at me with a smug face throughout the class. Enjoy that look while you can. I told myself that and calmed down. After the class, Lori approached me again, just like yesterday. Today, I have a date with Benedict. He stayed over at my place last night, and it felt like we were a real married couple. Oh, sorry. I forgot. His legal wife is right here. If you like Benedict that much, go ahead. He doesn't seem to love me anymore, so you can have him. Lori looked disappointed for a moment, expecting me to show a frustrated face, but it was only for a second. Oh, giving up so soon? Well, he's already smitten with me, so it makes sense. Hey, Lori, aren't you married to Joshua? Have you talked to him? What? I can easily get rid of that fatso. I'm fabricating evidence of his infidelity to claim alimony and leave him. Disgusting. That's what I thought. She takes what she wants and discards it when she's done. I feel so sorry for Joshua. Well then, I'll gladly take Benedict. You plain boring women always lose. Spend your lonely age alone. With that declaration of victory, Lori left. Let her say what she wants. That day, I had Benedict sign the divorce papers. He must have already heard about today from Lori, He signed without asking any questions. Watching him, I thought how quickly our happy days had come to an end. But I don't want to have regrets. Before either of us could change our minds, I submitted the signed divorce papers to the court. Now I'm single. I rented an apartment nearby and started living alone. However, living on just a yoga instructor's salary felt a bit insecure, so I started dipping into my savings. But even while living alone, I was in contact with someone without fearing the future. All I had to do was wait for their response. A few months later, Lori came back to the yoga class. This time, she waited until after the class. She came up to me and suddenly started crying. "What's wrong with that man? He was so wonderful at first, but as soon as we got remarried, he started gaining weight and his skin got bad. Now he's just a regular fat old man, and his salary is low. I had high hopes because he said he worked for a famous financial institution. What's going on?" Here it comes. This is what I've been waiting for. Holding back a smirk, I calmly responded to Lori. "Don't worry. Listen carefully. The reason he was slim and handsome was all due to my meal planning and exercise guidance. Now that he's left me, you've been spoiling him, so he's just reverted to his natural state. That's the real Benedict. And about the foreign financial institutions, it's actually a subsidiary of a related company of foreign financial institutions. I just exaggerated a bit. Yes, I had been managing Benedict's meals since before we married. I even packed him a balanced lunch every day. I also made sure he ate dinner at home, so I had complete control over his diet. I encouraged him to exercise and even got him to use men's lotion for his skin. All these efforts had helped him maintain a youthful appearance, even in his 40s. But all that ended when we divorced, and his new spouse, Lori, just spoils him. She probably doesn't think about balanced meals or encourage him to exercise. It's only natural he'd revert to his old self, living like that." "What? So you're saying he was only good because of you? What's that about?" "It's fine. If your love is true, he'll become wonderful again. Not that it matters to me." "No way. I don't want that fatso. Take him back." I'm amazed at how this woman can talk about people as if they're objects. But of course, I have no intention of taking him back. "Too bad. I've already found someone else to marry. Here he is." I showed Lori a photo of my new fiancé on my phone. The man on the screen was a well-built, kind-looking man wearing an attorney badge. "What? Who is this guy?" "He's amazing." "Hey, I'm a better match for him than you are. Let's swap, okay? How about Benedict for him?" Now it's my turn to laugh out loud. "Why don't you ask him yourself? Ask him to marry you, or, ask him to get back together with you, because this man is your ex-husband, Joshua." "What? How did Joshua turn into such a great guy? You're lying. And I can't stand the idea of you being with such a handsome man." Still saying that, huh? I was utterly amazed. I'm not lying. The person I'd been in contact with while living alone after divorcing Benedict was none other than Lori's ex-husband, Joshua. I was in contact with him, of course, to get back at Lori. First, I dramatically changed Joshua's appearance through meal planning and exercise. Of course, it was all to make Lori regret later. But this revenge is just the first step. The second step is yet to come. Did you forget that Joshua is an attorney? I've already told him about your attempt to fabricate his affair. You should be expecting a lawsuit for damages from him any time now. What? Oh, and from me too. I'm suing you for having an affair with my husband. And of course, I have the best attorney, Joshua. Ah! It's too late for Lori's small cry. Oh, I almost forgot. Benedict got his current job through a client from my yoga class. I've told them about this whole mess, and they were really disappointed. Who knows what will happen to Benedict's job now? Lori was speechless. I left her standing there and gracefully exited the class. Serves you right. You've taken so much from me, and now you've even taken away my husband. You got what you deserved. After some time, Lori had to pay a hefty sum in damages due to our lawsuits. She had to sell the luxury apartment she got from divorcing Joshua, and now she and Benedict are living in a cheap apartment. Just like I said, Benedict's salary got even lower due to his demotion, and now Lori has to work too. Some of my yoga students work at the same place as her, so naturally I've told them about Lori. My students are all saying things like, "What a terrible woman, Elise. You've been through a lot. We'll make sure she gets what's coming to her. I can't wait to give her a hard time." As for me, I happily remarried Joshua. Thanks to my dedicated meal planning and exercise guidance, he's undergone a dramatic transformation from his previous overweight condition, and is even featured in magazines now. His legal practice is booming, and he's swamped with work, which is a good problem to have. Unlike Benedict, Joshua listens to my advice and appreciates it, so I'm even more motivated to prepare his meals. Oh, and the luxury apartment Lori had to give up? We're living there now. From the windows of our high-rise apartment, the building where Lori and Benedict lived looks so small, it's almost laughable. My revenge is complete. From now on, I plan to live a peaceful and happy life with Joshua.